Oxidation. Reagent is going to come your way. Bayer's reagent is coming your way. So embrace the reagent's name and understand its chemical properties. So oxidation of alkenes can happen under two conditions. Alkaline cold dilute KMnO4, which is also called Bayer's reagent. The name of the reagent, that is Bayer's reagent, and the work of this reagent, that is, it is going to do oxidation, should be high definition, crystal clear. What is Bayer's reagent? Nothing but alkaline cold dilute potassium permanganate, KMnO4. Alkaline means basic medium, alkaline. Cold, cold you know. Dilute, dilute you know. KMnO4. Okay, acidic KMnO4 and acidic K2Cr2O7. So do you understand if I say acidic KMnO4, that's not Bayer's reagent. Bayer's reagent is only when you have the alkaline cold dilute KMnO4. It has to be alkaline, right? pH has to be greater than 7. Well, let's do one thing. Let's see both the reactions one by one. The first one with the Bayer's reagent. Simple reaction happening. Please check. Alkenes add Bayer's reagent. You get vicinal glycol derivatives. Also, there is important thing here that these are the tests of distinguishing. Here also, you know that the purple color of KMnO4 is so famous, huh? You know that. So, this purple color is going to disappear. And whenever there's these kind of reactions which are easily noticeable by the naked eyes are the ones that we use for distinguishing. To distinguish one type from the other type, right? And all the distinguishing reactions, I would advise you to make that holy small little notebook which I told you will be your, will be your absolutely handwritten holy book that you will be creating for yourself. In that, make sure you write all the different distinguishing reactions coming your way. First has already gone, which is bromine in the presence of carbon tetrachloride, orange color disappearing. Here another one coming your way about the purple color here now. Let's see what's going on. So like I told you that the KMnO4 decolorizes, used as a test for unsaturation. Let's see what's going on. Purple color, cold dilute KMnO4, Bayer's reagent, purple in color. Let's add this purple color's reagent in hexane. And you know nothing is going to happen. No reaction is going to happen. No addition is going to happen. Right? So the color is pertained, is retained. Nothing is happening. Whereas if we are taking a test tube which is containing an unsaturated compound, let's say hexene, and we add Bayer's reagent to it, what you can see is color disappearing. And you can see there is a precipitate also formed at the bottom of manganese oxide, MnO2, right? So moral of the story is this, that the reaction can be easily noticed from the naked eyes. We can certainly use it to distinguish an alkane from an alkene. Point to be noted, the same reaction can be used for alkyne also. So alkene and alkyne cannot be distinguished using the Bayer's reagent. Point to be noted. Now let's move further and talk about the reaction at play here. So you can see that what is going on. If we start with ethene, we are getting ethane 1,2-diol, which is also called glycol. Oxidation with alkaline KMnO4 gives syn addition yet again. Both the OH are getting added from the same side. Same side of the double bond, that means it's a syn addition just like what you saw in hydrogenation. Isn't it? So Bayer's reagent sorted. Now let's do one thing. Let's talk about this acidic KMnO4 or acidic K2Cr2O7, potassium dichromate or acidic potassium permanganate. So here what happens is we may get ketones, we may get acids. So let's see, it is dependent on the kind of alkene that we have that we can decide what product will be formed. So check it out. What we have is KMnO4 in the acidic medium or acidic K2Cr2O7. Do one thing, cleave it, right? Put two oxygens like this. So that what we get is a ketone, okay. And here what do we get is HC double bond OH. This is formaldehyde, and formaldehyde wherever will be formed, please oxidize it further. It can easily be oxidized further and can give you HCOOH, which is formic acid. And wherever formic acid is formed, please make it into carbon dioxide and water. Okay, so this is what is the product. So formic acid wherever, so aldehyde basically will get converted to acids. But if that acid is the formic acid, right, then make sure that the final product that you get from the formic acid, it further gives you carbon dioxide and water. So for this kind of an aldehyde, I am sure, for this kind of an alkene, I am sure it is clear that ketone, carbon dioxide and water are the products. But if we have this, we are going to get, look at this, two aldehydes. What are the two aldehydes that we are getting? CH3COH. So from here, what do we get? We get acetic acid or ethanoic acid. Only the formic acid will further give you CO2 and H2O. Acetic acid, where the oxidation stops. So further things are getting oxidized, right? Okay, unlike what we saw in Bayer's reagent where diol was getting formed and the two OH were getting added from the same side. So here, depending on the nature of the alkenes, the product forms after oxidation with acidic KMNO4, K2CrO7 can be ketones and or acids. Okay, so you know that when we are talking about a ketone getting formed, ketone will be the only product that will be formed. If it is an aldehyde that you're getting, then aldehyde further gives you, you know, that acid. And when we talk about, because aldehyde can be more easily oxidized as compared to ketone, the answer to this will come in the aldehyde, ketones and carboxylic acid chapter. And if that particular aldehyde is formaldehyde, then you know that the carbon dioxide and water are the products that you get. So become vigilant and let's use now this information and find out the answer. Compound A is, this is what you have to find out, what is A, right? Who am I? The options, the help out here is given. You have to go retro, right? There are no options, so you have to become very vigilant. Let's do one thing. Let me not show you options, though there are options, but let me not show you options straight away. Let's try to do it by ourselves and then match. Okay, that will be a better approach. And let's do it together. Okay, so you can see that there is addition of hydrogen happening. Okay, and you're getting oxalic acid here. Okay, and you're getting dicarboxylic acid. Okay, by adding KMNO4. That means certainly there is a double bond involved, of course. Right? And of course, the double bond has to do with two cyclo rings fused together. Right? Then only the possibility is getting this kind of an oxalic acid, COH, and getting this kind of a dicarboxylic acid, right? So that means that the double bond, if it is here and here, let's imagine this. Then we know that on hydrogenation, this first product that we are getting is cool. Fits into the scenario. And let's see what will be the products here. So let's cleave it and let's see what do we get. So this cyclo ring as it is, and here we would get C, double bond O and a H. I told you what to do. Put O, right? So let's do one thing. Let's make O the way I told you. C, double bond O and a H. And here we get this O, C, CO, H and H. And you know that this is what that can further oxidize to acids. Whenever aldehydes are formed, they're further oxidized to acids. So is this? So we get COOH here and a COH here. Is this what is given to you in the question? Yes, indeed. So the idea that we have got from the retro step, going backwards, right, is this must be the product. So let's check. Let's see the options. Option number B is exactly in the party lines of our thinking. So the B becomes the right answer. Solution is simple. Let me show you the solution once again to reinforce the concepts. Check it out. Double bond here, double bond here. Hydrogenation is the simplest. Syn addition happening, bond making and breaking occurring simultaneously. Cyclo product getting formed. Which kind of a cyclo ring? Cyclobuta ring will be getting formed. So all these we already have a good information, right? Now let's see the other one, right? So cyclobutyl, rather than that, let me call it 4-membered cyclic intermediate getting formed, right? To be technically correct. And now let's see the other one. Here you can understand that what you can do is put simple oxygens, and wherever aldehydes you're getting, convert them into acid. But make sure that if that particular aldehyde is formaldehyde, then the products are carbon dioxide and water. If this much you take care of, these questions are easy peasy.